Field Log 17, M.E.G Exploration Team Delta, final report. We entered Level 11, the Infinite City, at 0500 hours. The first thing that hit us was the silence. It's the kind that feels heavy on your skin, pressing against your ears until even the faintest footsteps echo like thunder. We started on Main Street, or what passed for it here. Cracked asphalt stretched in both directions, splitting under weeds that seemed too vibrant for a place so dead. Streetlights flickered overhead, casting long shadows that danced even when there was no wind. We walked carefully, sticking close together, each step crunching glass and litter. Every block looked the same. Rows of boarded-up shops, windows shattered, the occasional rusted-out car, its doors swinging open in the non-existent breeze. A sense of being watched pressed down on us, though every time we turned the streets were empty. Our radios crackled, the static somehow louder in the quiet. One agent, Carver, pointed out a sign half fallen above a diner. The letters were broken, but it was enough, a landmark. We crossed the street, glass crunching under our boots. The diner's door was ajar, hanging on one hinge. Inside, the smell of burnt coffee and cold grease filled the air. Booths were lined with plates of food half-eaten, mugs of coffee still steaming as if the customers had just left seconds ago. That smell, it was too fresh. That's when I heard it. Footsteps in the kitchen, soft, shuffling. I raised my flashlight, the beam cutting through the gloom, but the kitchen was empty. The door slammed shut behind us, rattling the glass. Then laughter, high, childlike, from the ceiling. We looked up but saw nothing except cracked tiles. For a moment in the corner, a partygoer flickered in and out of reality, its smile too wide, eyes sunken voids, before vanishing in static. We left quickly, emerging back onto the street. The fog was thicker now, swallowing the streetlights until they looked like dying stars. We turned down a side street, following faded chalk markings from earlier explorers. Every building felt the same. Broken glass, peeling paint, shadows that refused to leave. After 2 blocks, we reached an apartment complex. The front door hung open on a single hinge. The lobby reeking of mold and something else, like stale perfume mixed with rot. Upstairs, wallpaper peeled like old skin. Doors stood ajar, revealing empty rooms. A radio on a shelf played a warped lullaby, the voice slow and unnatural. Agent Miller reached for it, but the sound cut out suddenly. In a cracked mirror, Miller's reflection stared back, but it was smiling. Miller wasn't. We all saw it, frozen in that moment. Then a bang, a closet door swung open, revealing nothing but deep claw marks. We turned to check on Miller, but he was gone. Only his radio and helmet lay on the floor. Panic rippled through the team. We called for him, voices shaking. No answer. The radio hissed static, no sign of life. We had to keep moving. We made our way back to the street, our flashlights casting long beams into the fog. That's when we saw the office building. It loomed above us, glass cracked and windows dark. Inside, cubicles stretched endlessly, each desk a small island of paper and flickering monitors. We moved carefully, our boots crunching on old coffee cups and shredded documents. A conference room door was ajar. Inside, a projector still ran, its beam dancing on a cracked wall. The footage showed us, walking these same halls, on a loop. The footage glitched, the screen flickering like a dying candle, each loop more distorted than the last. On the 4th loop, the camera caught one of us screaming silently, eyes wide, mouth frozen. A partygoer's face flickered in the frame, its grin wider than any human's, before vanishing into static. We killed the projector, but the room felt colder now, like something had crawled inside our bones. We pressed on, through the office's maintenance doors, into a hallway lined with broken pipes. The air smelled of burnt plastic and old metal. Water dripped steadily from somewhere above, each drop echoing like a gunshot. The maintenance tunnels twisted like a maze. Faded chalk symbols marked the walls, warnings or directions from those who came before. We followed them anyway. A low growl echoed from the darkness. A shape scuttled along the ceiling, a hound pale and skeletal, its head twisting too far, mouth filled with jagged teeth. We froze, our lights trembling, but it vanished into the shadows, leaving only a smear of darkness. A voice called out from deeper in the tunnel, someone calling for help. It sounded human. We hesitated, but it faded into silence before we could answer. We pressed on. Eventually the tunnels led us to a rusted metal door, heavy and damp to the touch. Carver pushed it open, the hinges screaming. A cayenne glow seeped from beyond, the air humid and heavy. We stepped forward into the pool rooms. Pools stretched forever under skylights that cast harsh beams onto calm water. The air was thick with chlorine. Tiles gleamed, too clean to be real. Slides wound like serpents through the space, their colors faded and unsettling. Partygoers watched from the shadows, pale, smiling too wide, eyes black voids. Agent Kim waded into a shallow pool, testing the water. Ripples reflected faces that weren't his own, smiling, mocking. He fell back, water splashing. Another agent found a small slide that led to a quiet pool. He climbed, hoping for an easy drop. We watched as he vanished into the water. Only bubbles rose. No sign of him remained. We split up, searching for exits. Hallways stretched in every direction, each more identical than the last. In one corner, a children's play area lay abandoned. Small slides, bright colors. A partygoer in a child's party hat standing motionless. Its head tilted slowly as we passed. Reflections in the water showed the faces of our missing agents, smiling, their eyes too dark. Whispers rose from the water, promises of parties and endings. Carver found a stairwell behind a larger slide, graffiti covering the walls with words half-faded, "Don't go down." We went down anyway. The air turned colder, pipes dripping overhead. A rusted door waited at the bottom, its hinges bent. We pushed it open, and stepped out onto a decaying oil rig platform surrounded by black water. Level 7, Thalassophobia. The rig shook beneath our feet, metal creaking with each wave. Oil drums lay scattered, machinery rusted and silent. Shadows drifted beneath the water, massive shapes, eyes glowing faintly. We moved carefully, but the rig was falling apart. Holes opened in the deck, water gushing through. We scrambled, gathering barrels, ropes, anything to build makeshift rafts. One by one we set off into the dark ocean. The rig disappeared behind us, swallowed by black waves. The ocean stretched endlessly, no horizon, no stars. Underwater shapes moved slowly, patiently. Tentacles breached the surface, pulling agents under without a sound. A helmet bobbed to the surface, empty. Reflections in the water twisted into faces we didn't recognize, smiling, beckoning. Voices rose from the depths, promising that we'd never be alone again. Field Log 17, final transmission. Level 7 is not a place of survival. It takes what you are and leaves nothing but whispers. If you find this, know that in Level 7, death is not the worst thing that can happen.